Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again with another video. How you all doing? So today I'm doing another Arrow video release. I have decided that I'm going to do an unboxing and set review and all that, because I thought I bought it, I haven't opened it, well I've taken out the box, the packaging it came in, and yeah, I was excited about this release, and then I thought I couldn't afford it, so I was going to cancel the pre-order, but the pre-order had already been dispatched, so I couldn't. So yeah, here we are. I did mention this in my pickup video of January, even though I did get it in December because I forgot to put it in the December video. Enough waffling. It is the Critters 4 Feast collection here. So released from Arrow Video. This was originally, a lot of people had the Scream Factory edition. I don't know if that's gone out of print now. It might have gone out of print. Oh, I don't know if it was that or the Omen set which was going out of print. But yeah, here we have the 4 Feast collection, which comes with 4 films, of course, and it comes with a big booklet. We've got Critters, They Bite, Critters 2, the main course, Critters 3, You Are What They Eat, and Critters 4, In Space, They Love to Hear You Scream. And if you can not tell, that is them in space. So, yeah, 4 discs, and we're just going to get right into this set. I do like this, actually, like this artwork here. It's very nice. I like this cheeky grin and the little, like, one eye. I can't do it like the eye open on the slightly piece. It's like, so that's the kind of vibe that I get from that. Oh, this is the pain in the arse. It's already ripped a little bit in the corner, so hopefully I should be able to get this open. But those are my famous last words. You watch. Not being able to open packaging has been a constant downfall for me. No, there you go. There you go. I was talking bollocks. So if we get that out of the box, we can have a nice clean look there without the glare. There you go. I love the attention to detail there. And obviously, there's your side. Big chunk of text about the films themselves, the limited edition content, and then you got the special features for the discs. I will read the limited edition content and I will read the special features as we get the discs out, because I think it's a lot easier with these big sets. What I did for the Psycho collection. So what we got, a high definition 1080p Blu-ray presentation of all 4 films, original lossless stereo audio of 2.0 and 5.1 audio, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, 60-page hardbound collector's booklet featuring new writings on the films by the screenwriter Shane Bitterling and film critic Heather Wixson. And Megan Navrio, I don't know. Plus a selection of archival publicity material, a double-sided fold-out poster for all 4 films, limited edition packaging with newly commissioned artwork by Pierre Pa, reversible sleeves featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by the same geezer for all 4 films. So yeah, we will bust that out of there. Ooh, okay. We'll look at the booklet first. It's got this nice little, I'm assuming this is from one of the films. I have not actually seen any of the films yet, so once I watch them and come back at the end of the video to talk about the films, that'll be my first impression. But I quite like this. Fiendish Furball from Outer Space. Obviously this is just squiggle, but this is a nice design here. The Grobber's Bend Gazette. I'm assuming that's a G, but yeah, there's the side. It's not picking up very well on camera, and nothing on the back. So we will get to, well, what's it say about the presentations? I'm assuming it says about how they were. Not a lot about the presentation. The Critters 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all presented in their original aspect ratio of 1.85.1 with the original stereo 2.0 and 5.1 audio. The feature masters for this release were made available by Warner Brothers. And that is it. Not too much about them. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is this just all what it is all the way through? Oh no. Got some newly commissioned artwork in there if you want to read about the cast and crew. There you go. Give that a little pause. There you are. It's nice artwork there. Quite like that. Oh, it tells you. Oh, actually, tell a lie. It's got that for all the films in there, which is quite nice. And then you got your writing. So you know, that's what it looks like with stills and stuff like that. I did, because I obviously opened it from the back. You do have a load of different posters for all the different films and stuff like that with behind the scenes stills. There are more essays and stuff like that, more closely to the beginning of the book. But yeah, there's some nice poster work in there as well. So yeah, it's quite nice. It's nice to have a hardbound book. I'm pretty sure. What was the last big box set I opened? Can't really remember. I genuinely can't remember actually, because I don't think the Clash of the Titans one had one, or the Chucky set, or most of them are just more like the flimsy ones. So it's nice to have a. This is in line with like the Battle Royale one and the. Pretty sure the Hellraiser did, but I didn't actually do an opening of that. So we shall look at the 4 discs. Here we are. So we have Critters, They Bite. So that was that one that was at the beginning of the book. It's very nice. So the limited edition content, we've already gone over the. So I won't talk about the transfer or the audio and the subtitles because that is the same across all of the discs, and I've already mentioned that to you, haven't I? So we've got brand new audio commentary by film critics Matt Brzit and David Wan, with screenwriter Shane Bitterling. Audio commentary with the producer Barry Upper and star Don Upper. Are they related? Who knows? Or Oper, I should probably say. That's probably more likely what it is. Or archival audio commentary with Critters designer Charles Chirido, Edward Chirido, and Stephen Chirido. I wonder if those are the lads who did Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because I know there's 3 brothers, and those clearly are all brothers. I think it is Cheeto Brothers. I think it's Cheeto, how you say that, actually. They Bite, the making of Critters, an archival feature-length documentary. For Brian, a tribute to the screenwriter, archival featurette. Behind-the-scenes footage, alternative endings, theatrical trailer, TV spots, image gallery, reversible sleeves from the original artwork, and newly commissioned artwork as well. This one has a runtime of 86 minutes and a voice. So if we... So this is the reversible. I think I'm going to keep the newly commissioned artwork on there because I think that is a lot more interesting than that original poster. The spines in red is quite nice though. I might change my mind on that. Who knows? So if we slide that back in there, lovely. There is the disc. It's quite a nice disc in there as well. So we will. I'm assuming that the artwork is going to be the same. We will have a little look-see. Yeah, by the looks of it. So there's that poster again, but without the names on it, which is quite nice. And then you have obviously your original poster. There you go, very nice. Very nice indeed. And we've got one of the cards, and is that Incubus? Don't know about this film. Is it any good? Let me know in the comments below. So that is the first disc. I do quite like the artwork on that one, and on the disc as well. So we got Critters 2, the main course. They're a little ball there, very nice. So limited edition, well, the limited edition contents on this one, all the special features. Brand new audio commentary by by Matty and Dave, who I mentioned for the last one. Archival commentary from director Mick Gatiss. Archival audio commentator with the 3 brothers again. The main course, the making of Critters 2, archival documentary, behind the scenes footage, additional TV scenes, theatrical trailers, TV spot, image gallery, and reversible sleeve and artwork. Is this the same artwork as it was on the first disc? Yeah, it is. It's the same artwork, but in a different colour, so it's more in line with the actual theming of that. It's still a nice artwork, I will give it that. So there's the reversible artwork there, which is, I'm going to assume, is going to be the same one on the other one. I am struggling to get this back in, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Yeah, but yeah, I think it is. There you go, in poster form. Try and get it without the glare. There you go. And for the poster again, there is no artwork on there, so at least it gives you the option if you prefer it, if you prefer to have it as a poster or to have it as there. There you go. I actually quite like the colouring of the disc on this one, I must admit. I quite like that. Just had a bike go past. I love living next to a main road. And that is Critters 2. So Critters 3, You Are What They Eat. I think this is Leonardo DiCaprio's first ever feature film. A lot less content on this one. Brand new audio commentary by the Matty and Dave again. Archival commentary with the producers Barry and Oprah and Don Oprah. You Are What They Eat, the making of Critters 3 archival featurette, trailer, promo, image gallery, reversible sleeve, newly commissioned artwork. So a lot less features on that one, but there you go. There's the artwork there. Not much different on the artwork there. It's got a little bit more of a teal. Is that right? I don't know. You be the judge of that. I mean, I like the colour, but again, maybe for paying for almost 60 quid, you'd think maybe that they would swap the artwork for each film, or maybe do one of the posters on the back different. I'll just show you the poster. So there's the artwork without the writing on, and there is the, if I don't drop it, there's the Critters 3 poster right there, as you can see. Very nice, and I won't bother getting out of the reversible, but there it is with the cover. Yeah, so it's Critters 3. And I'm assuming it'll be pretty much the same on the last disc as well, but I'll obviously read the features for you as well. Oh. Again, I'm just dropping everything today. I don't know what's wrong with me. But there is Critters 4. I quite like that. I don't know why. I quite like that. Brand new audio commentary by Matty and Dave again. Audio commentary with the producer Rupert Harvey. Space Madness, the making of Critters 4 archival featurette. And you only get a trailer and image gallery on this one. I didn't actually tell you the runtime of 2, 3, and 4. So the runtime of number 2 is 86 minutes. 86 minutes for number 3. And then you get a whole extra minute at 87 minutes for number 4. But there you go. Again, same artwork, but with more of a purpley colour on this one. I like it, very space, but again, would like a bit more artwork on there. There's the original artwork there. And if you want to see both of them quickly in a bigger format, here they both are. So there's the original poster, very boring poster, and then this wacky design right here. I do quite like that. I do like the purpley, very spacey, very sci-fi. Can you hear that? Did you hear that bass? It's the shit I have to deal with on a regular basis. Love that for me. But yeah, overall the physical content, I think for only Blu-rays, I think maybe they could have sort of made a little bit more of a stretch on the artwork, maybe for the different for the disc, or like a different an alternative poster, because obviously it just show you all those alternative posters at the back of the book, so it's just like you could have done that. But I do like this looking set to begin with, but for almost £60, I feel like they could have just made that a little bit more of a stretch, because what they sell in, well, Arrow Video Blu-ray is up to £8, so 8, 16. So yeah, you get, yeah. To be fair, so 30 quid of the set is on the Blu-rays, but then around about 30 quid for the sets. But yeah, either or, I'm going to watch these movies. I've heard good things about the first two, and then the last two are a bit but I'm excited to see that one about Leo. So you stay right there. I'm going to go watch the films. I'll have a look at what's going on with the set, and I will come back to you, lovely people. For you, it'll be in a moment. For me, it's probably going to be a couple of days, but I'll see you shortly. So I am back from watching the Critters collection here from Arrow Video. Like I said, I've watched all 4 of the films, and I've watched the making of documentaries as well, just so I can get a bit of an insight to the the feeling of making the films, try and get more of an understanding from it. And yeah, so what do I think about the franchise? I was going to talk about the making of documentary, but we'll talk about that more as we go along. So Critters 1, here it is. What did I think of it? So I went into this thinking maybe it's going to be, thinking it's going to be fun, but maybe just a bit of a Gremlins rip-off. And nope, surprisingly, I was quite surprised with the more sci-fi, because obviously the fourth one is in space, so I thought maybe that would be something we would gradually come along to. But no, in this film we go straight into space. They are alien prisoners that are getting transferred onto this big space rock, and then they manage to escape. And so these two bounty hunters are hired to come and find them, which is, one of them's called Ugg, who is a recurring character throughout all four of the films, less so in 3 and 4, but we'll get to those. And I'm pretty sure the second one is called, like, Lee, maybe? I think maybe Lee. It's either that or I'm pretty sure they've renamed him in the second one. But anyway, they go to Earth to find these cripes, otherwise known as the Critters. There are 8 in total. They have obviously made their way to Earth, and they've crashed in the middle of Grover's Bend. I think it's Grover's Bend. Grover's Bend. I'm pretty sure it's Grover's Bend. Either way, yeah, they crash near a farm. This guy called Charlie, who is played by, I've written his name down. Don Oper, who is brother to Barry Oper, who is the producer of all of these movies. He's again a recurring character. He's in all 4 of the films, and he's great. He's a really lovable character. He plays the town drunk, and he talks about alien conspiracies and stuff like that. And no one believes him, and he's one of the first people to see the aliens, and he like absolutely loses his shit. He's like, oh my god, they're actually here. So he tries to warn the local police. The sheriff doesn't believe him. Is it Liz Slane? Liz Slane? I don't know. The older lady from the not Conjuring, the Insidious movies. She plays like the receptionist at the police station, and she has this on and off thing with this other police officer. There's only 2 police officers in this entire town: the sheriff and this other guy, whose name I can't remember. Don't even remember his rank. Yeah, Charlie goes running to her to try and get their attention or whatever, and they don't believe it and stuff like that. And the one police officer goes missing, so they go out. The sheriff goes out to try and find him or whatever. The main people in this film is Scott Grimes and his family. Scott Grimes is the ginger lad. He's the young lad. I said lad twice. He's also in Oppenheimer. You might have missed him. He plays counsel in the film. But yeah, he's great in this movie. I really enjoyed him. He's very young, full of energy character. He's really good. Very great for some ginger representation. Love that. His family as well, I really like. I like his mum and dad. His dad is from a load of old westerns, and his mum is it Dee Wallace? I think it is Dee Wallace. Is it on here? Sure. Why do they never write the actors on the back? Oh wait, no, I found him. Yeah, Dee Wallace. Sorry, it is Dee Wallace, but in this movie she goes by Dee Wallace Stone, which is because I'm not too sure why. They did say, I'm pretty sure I didn't know if she wanted to be known for these sorts of movies, but I looked at her letterbox, and there are loads of horror movies, like Jeepers Creepers, Reborn, Popcorn, Lords of Salem. There's loads of horror movies that she's in. So the biggest thing that she ever did was E.T., which is great in E.T., and she's actually really great in this as a very caring mother. And they had the whole family, the mum and dad, the sister as well. They have a really good family dynamic together, and I really do enjoy it. And the hijinks of when they have to go around and stop the critters is really good. Yeah, and then the two bounty hunters. I can't remember who plays the second one, who's swapped a couple of times throughout the film, but the recurring main guy who plays Ugg is Terrence Mann. Yeah, Terrence Mann. I read it in my notes on my computer right here. He's fantastic. He does a really good job of playing this because he takes his they take this shape-shifting face thing that they do from all of the other movie not the other movies, for characters so they can blend in. And Terrence Mann plays two different characters. He plays this 80s rock star who is then appearance he takes on his character of Ugg, and the two different performances are really great. Like this very stern, cold character for Ugg the bounty hunter, where there's over the top 80s pop rock star. It was really good. I really did enjoy Ugg, and so yeah, Ugg, Charlie, and Brad, who is Scott Grimes' character, they're my favourite performances throughout the movie. And then Dee Wallace Stone as the mum, she gets a good shout out there as well. And the critters themselves, let's talk about the critters themselves. They're funny. I didn't realise they were going to be so funny, but yeah, they're really hilarious the way they talk to each other and they swear at each other. Like when one of them explodes, he's like, "Oh shit!" It's really good. The practical effects in this as well are really good. The critters effects themselves are done by the Cheeto brothers, who obviously they did on all 4 of the films, and they directed Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which obviously earlier in the video I wasn't too sure. And watching this, I was like, oh shit, yeah, no, it is them. But yeah, really good, really great effects on them. They were talking about like how they use like moose hair for the critters in this one, and that's why they look so realistic in this one. And then seeing all the behind the scenes stuff of how they made them is really interesting. I would really recommend watching the documentary. People who have obviously picked up the Scream Factory, I'm assuming this is just ported. This must be just ported over because it says Shout Factory and someone else presents. So I will say about the behind the scenes thing for this one and the next one on the making of documentaries, it's really overexposed, and I don't fucking get why it's so overexposed. It's really awful to look at. They fix it in for 2 and 3 and 4, but just those two in the behind the scenes look absolutely terrible. Another great production thing that I would like to explain is the exploding of the house at the end. Like, it looked phenomenal, all the angles that they got, and they were talking about the pyrotechnics that they had, and then they had like a napalm mix, and it just looked absolutely insane. It looked so good. Like, it's probably one of the best explosions that I've seen from such a more lower budget like horror movie. Yeah, Critters I did really enjoy. It had a lot of charm to it. It was funny. Yeah, it had that great 80s sci-fi horror comedy aspect to it, and I did quite enjoy it, to be fair. Yeah, Critters 1 I would recommend as a film. The transfer was really nice as well. I will say, like, I had no grubs of it for what it looked like on Blu-ray for 1080p. Yeah, 1080p transfer. Yeah, it looked quite good. I did quite enjoy this movie. However, now I've sat and thought about, I've watched all these movies and I've watched the behind the scenes thing. I thought I preferred the first one, but I actually think I do prefer Critters 2. It's a lot more comedic and a lot more, it feels more like a great comparison, I would say, in tone wise. I would feel like it's like when you go from House 1 to 2, that's how I feel like. Much bigger budget. As you can tell here, the Critters ball, they actually all morph into one big giant ball at the end, which is hilarious. And you see them do it in the smaller aspects, which is quite funny. But yeah, Scott Grimes, Brad returns to his hometown after leaving after the events of the first one to visit his nan, who lives in. We don't see her in the first movie, but she still lives here. He goes back for Easter break, so this is an Easter horror movie. So if you want to know that, and yeah, the bounty hunters have to return to Earth. Charlie at the end of the last one went with the bounty hunters, but they were going to get paid for it, but someone from the Galactic lot, whoever is looking after them, say that no, the Cripe infestation has not been dealt with and payment will be withheld until they return, until they deal with it. So yeah, they have to go back to Earth. Charlie gets to go back, he gets to see everyone. Ugg obviously returns as well. They're both great in this. Charlie has a lot more personality in this. He's a lot more assertive in himself because obviously he found purpose between these two movies and doing this. The main other bounty hunter actually becomes, I should have forgotten her name, but she was going to be a Playboy bunny. That she did a whole shoot which they didn't use, so they actually asked production wise if they could use this unused shoot in the movies to make it look so authentic, and Playboy signed off on the logo and everything, and that's a great attention to detail. But tragically, she gives a good performance. I will say she's quite funny. Like, obviously, people will be like, "Oh, she hits her tits out." I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, she actually gives a quite a funny performance throughout the film. Like, there's a bit where her and Ugg walk into this diner where all the critters are eating and munching, it looks fucking great. I will admit, like, production value in this film is top notch. Like, their guns extend when they go into shooting mode, and when both her and Ugg do it, and they look like this look that they have on their face, like, yeah, it's time to kill these little fuckers. So funny. But tragically, learning from the behind the scenes documentary, well, the making of documentary, she sadly died in a car accident, which is quite a shame because she was going to go places. Like, she was being looked at more and more, which is a shame that she obviously lost her life so young. But because I quite enjoyed her in this movie personally. Yeah, which is a real shame. But again, the Kyoto brothers talking about all the extra stuff they did in this film and how they made them look so realistic, and how all the extra effects and all the extra rigging was great. Those are my favourite aspects of the behind the scenes documentary and the films. To be fair, I don't think these films would be as much loved as they were without the Kyoto brothers, like, care and craft into the critters. Like, all three of them did a fantastic job, and all the team that worked with them, I think they looked really, really good. And this film at the end, they have to there is another explosion at the end. They have to bring them into like a meat factory to just distract them. They thought they were just going to do the one day and then be done, so they used real meat for cheap wise, and yeah, they didn't think they were going to come back for repeat, because they came back a couple of days for reshoots, and then all the meat had gone absolutely horrible, and obviously their hands were in the puppets, so they had to clean them all individually. Apparently it was a nightmare because it absolutely stank. And the same with something that happened in the next one as well, which we'll get to in a bit. Gonna burp, sorry. Terrible me. I wish I had better editing software to cut it out. But Crits 2 I would really recommend. Also, I will give it to this. This is a very, obviously it's set in Easter and it has a very like summery feel to it. Shot in the coldest winter, recorded in the state at that time, which was quite funny. And obviously the poor lady who sadly passed away, she was in very skimpy clothing, so I do not envy her having to do this shoot, because I can imagine she was absolutely freezing. I need to take a little drink because I'm just waffling. Good transfer for the most part. Some of the outside bits do look rather overexposed, and the grain is very noticeable, so take that as you will. Obviously some films people are bothered about grain, but yeah. So with Critters 3, my expectations were quite high. I don't know why I went into it with such high expectations. Even in the first like half an hour of the movie, I felt like this is going to be very good. It was very engaging. I did really enjoy the characters, and obviously it says that they're going to the big city now, and I thought after the events of the second one, like, what hijinks are they going to get into? Not taking into account that there might be budget restrictions, and lo and behold, learning from the documentary, I keep saying documentary, making of, well, it is documentary, the making of, yeah, the budget was massively reduced. And actually, I did find out that both Critters 3 and 4 were shot simultaneously. Like, they finished one and then immediately went into they took a week off and then went into number 4. We'll talk about how the budget use in this one affected number 4 when we get to number 4. But yeah, it's then, so this movie is just set in an apartment complex, because the two kids that we follow, the main kids, their dad was meant to go away on the railway, working, but on their trip back, because they were on holiday, their trip back, they stop at this like little caravan park place, where RV park or whatever, to sort out a damaged tire, and some critters get under the car and then come back to the apartment block, and then they just run terror. Yeah, the critter action is reduced significantly in this film. It went from about like 40, 50, maybe even 100 critters in number 2 to like 4 or 5, and it really shows. Like, I don't know, there was a lot of parts in this movie where I was not engaged. Like, the first half an hour, I did like get to see Charlie talking like he's been left on Earth from number 2, and he's looking around trying to find the last remains of the critters, and then he comes back at the end of the film. So like the end, like the last 20 odd minutes and the first half an hour are good, and then that little chunk in the middle, 30 to 40 minutes, not bothered. I can't lie to you. But I do enjoy the cast of characters. I didn't think anyone gave a bad performance. Maybe so. This is Leo. Actually, this has a note of being Leonardo DiCaprio's first ever feature film experience, and for such a young age, he does a really good job. Which I can't lie to you. I think his stepdad, who is the guy who owns the building, that's how he's brought back into the script, because everyone's getting moved out of the apartment building, so it's all run down and everything like that. That's how he comes back into the story. But yeah, for his age, he does really good for what he does. I do really enjoy him. Yeah, I don't really know what I was about to say about the rest of this movie. It's just not what I expected. And obviously, I think like the bar was set too high with number 2, so it came down a lot. I still enjoyed it for the most part, but just yeah, unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it as much as I'd like to. Maybe in a future rewatch, I would enjoy it a lot more. But so because they were so restricted on budget, obviously they shot these 2 back to back. These are 2 continuous stories. Right at the end, Charlie goes into basement to find the last of the eggs. He's about to kill them, but then he gets a call from the people who he was like hired by, Bounty Hunter Wise or whatever, or well, that he joined. He said, you can't destroy those last 2 eggs. That would mean mass extinction, and that's prohibited. So which then they send a pod for him to put the eggs in, and that was the end. That was the end of the that was the end of the last one. You saw the pod drop through the roof, which then it's intercut with credits, which makes it a lot slower, which is the only one of these movies that does that. But then it repeats it at the beginning of this movie, so you get to just see how the full scene looks. And yeah, without the credits, it makes the scene a lot better. So yeah, he puts the pods in the eggs. He puts the eggs in the pod, and he gets trapped inside, and he gets cryogenically frozen while it gets travelled out. We've called into space. I need to take another drink. I'm sorry. Oh, gasping here. So yeah, and it gets lost on its way back to the people like Ugg and stuff like that. So he travels. It's like 50 years in the future. Afterwards, it gets picked up by a crew of space scavengers and stuff like that who are on contract. They're not like pirates or stuff like that. And they have a little debate, and they're just like, do they sell it off, or do they, because they find a stamp from this old dissolved space council, because by this point that space council that hired Ugg is dissolved, so they decide to call it in. They get sent to a space station ready for pickup, and then yeah, the captain gets a bit weirded out because the space station has been like deserted, sort of thing. There's like no life form apart from the computer. So yeah, he gets a bit mad. Or actually, no, he tries to. There's one lady on the crew. There's like 5 of them. The captain, the young lad, Brad Dourif, the lady. Yeah, there's 5 of them, and one of them is a lady. And he tries to catch her in the shower, and then she punches him. He gets mad. He then starts blasting open the tube, which awakens Charlie and awakens the critters. And again, this is very critters light, this movie, because the Kyoto brothers spent all of their time making stuff for number 3. They basically blew all their budget for number 3, and they also said that they had changed the script or the plan for this movie, so they had no time and no money to accommodate their needs, basically, to make more critters. And there's mainly like 2 critters throughout this movie until like the end scene, the much latter half of the movie, like the last 25 to 30 minutes of the movie. So yeah, like saying that, I did go into this movie with very low expectations, because I've seen a few of my mates had watched it and given it really low reviews. So I went in with low expectations, and surprisingly, I actually quite enjoyed it, to be fair, for what it is. It has a lot more slower, darker, grittier feeling to it. like something I would have seen in Doctor Who, which I then found out that the director is British, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it's a lot, but yeah. So I did enjoy the slower pace, but it does feel like it should have just been a sci-fi movie. Like the critters were just a sort of like not relevant to the story that much, which is a shame. And they didn't look as good either. There was some good fun critter bits, like when they freeze a cryo, when they freeze a critter, that was a really good scene. And the captain, when he goes wandering off or whatever, he actually, one of the baby critters jumps into his mouth and starts choking him out and like, eating him from the inside, like eating the inside of his throat. That was horrific. That's probably the most horrific death in the whole Critters franchise, and I did really enjoy that, to be fair. But I will say, what did I wrote? I wrote the geezer's name down, actually. I think it's Anders Hove. Did not like his performance. He's the only person in the movie that I didn't like. It was, yeah, just rather naff. I don't know. Everyone gave a pretty solid performance, but him, no, I really didn't enjoy his performance. And then when he died, I was like, thank God. But yeah, no. Wasn't expecting Brad Dourif to be in this. He plays Al. Fantastic performance. And I also wasn't expecting, what's his name? I wrote it down. Eric Dare, who's in Twin Peaks, to be in this as well. And they give good performances. I do really enjoy it. Brad Dourif and Don Hopper as both Al and Charlie being my favourite performance is in this film. And also the twist that Ugg is now evil didn't make any sense. I'm watching the behind the scenes documentary. Barry Upper, the producer, said like he didn't really think it was a good idea, and the writer David, I just wrote David, said that, oh yeah, we've got something to chew on. It's just like there was also a theory that he was going to be like an evil, it was not even Ugg, it's just an evil clone, but they obviously don't mention it in the film, so it just feels fucking pointless. But Terrence Mann gives a good performance nevertheless still, but just, yeah, not really too much. Transfer wise, did look pretty good though. The set design wasn't amazing, but obviously the low budget really shows in this movie. The music I did really enjoy. It did feel I did have that really great 80s sci-fi feeling to it, but it does also feel like it was just sort of ripped out of Blade Runner, so take that as you will. But all in all, I feel like I've just waffled on for about 20 odd minutes. Overall, I did really enjoy this franchise. I can't lie to you. It was very fun to sit down, and especially sitting down and watching the behind the scenes documentary. I think that was really well done by Shout Factory. I'm glad it was ported over for this release. And I'm thinking, is this worth the price? So obviously I bought this, it retails at $49.99. And I was looking around the shelves the other day when I went to H&V, and like obviously I've got a new Arrow video which I'm going to be doing a video on, and new limited editions about what, $17.99. So if you were to do that individually for each film, that would obviously be cheaper, but then obviously there's not that many special features, especially for obviously as you go along, you get obviously, you see it here, you get less and less and less. So maybe it's worth the 54 with all the MacGuffin and stuff like that, and a good hard book. Probably maybe I push it to more between 40 to 50 than 50 to 55, I would say, but that's just me personally. I'm very happy with this artwork though. A few things that I would change, obviously a different disc art would have been nice, and maybe different alternative posters. Like if you're going to charge almost 60 quid for it, maybe just do a little bit of extra stuff there. But anyway, that is my review and unboxing of the Critters films and stuff like that. Sorry this has been a very long one. If you haven't stayed to the end, much love. And yeah, going to be doing a few more Arrow video releases. Have you picked this up? What do you think of the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Love you lots. I'll see you in the next one. Bosh.